2025 was a special year here in Rome and Vatican City. What's going on? Just look around. Rome is hosting the largest pilgrimage in decades.
Pope Leo celebrating Mass before than 1 million young Catholics.
A rock star welcome in Rome.
It's almost like a Catholic Woodstock.
This is the world's biggest gathering you've probably never heard of. Millions of strangers from every corner of the planet coming to one city, just to walk through a single door.
This holy door is easy to find.
They're not here for a concert nor a game, but for hope. That's what's happening in Rome right now.
The Jubilee is a centuries-old tradition in the Catholic Church. It started in the year 1300. Pope Boniface VIII decreed that Romans visiting the basilicas of St. Peter and St. Paul 30 times within a year would be granted plenary indulgence. More on that later. And you know what? It was a massive success. At least 2 million people came to Rome that year. Remember that traveling at that time was not as easy and safe as it is today.
If you hear people saying that Rome is always busy, imagine now. At this time, it's even more unique. It's the first Jubilee in more than 300 years with 2 popes. If you're from the UK, you might be familiar with the word Jubilee. Queen Elizabeth II celebrated 7 of them. But what does that have to do with Rome? The meaning is similar, a special anniversary year. But in religious terms, it doesn't celebrate only one person. All Catholics are invited to a massive pilgrimage to Rome for a journey of spiritual renewal, reconciliation, and hope.
Now you may ask, why? What's the meaning of all this and what's it for? This is a symbolic passage representing spiritual renewal. But for Catholics, it's an almost guaranteed way to obtain a plenary indulgence. Okay, Gordon, what's a plenary indulgence?
I'm going to have to read this. So where a person can be completely freed from the consequences of their past sins, those sins which they have already confessed and forgiven.
Now give me an example.
Slaves are freed. And debts are forgiven.
Will it happen today?
Well, it's being forgiven all around the world.
The topic was just discussed between religious leaders and politicians. But during the Middle Ages, indulgences were sold. That's one of the ways the church raised money, and one of the reasons that led to the Protestant Reformation.
The highlight of the Jubilee year is to be able to walk through these doors. They remain sealed for the entire time, sometimes with concrete. They are walled here so that nobody can cross in between Jubilees. Jubilees normally happen every 25 years, but popes can declare extraordinary Jubilees in between. The idea is that everyone can walk through these doors at least once in their lifetime. When you visit these basilicas, there's so much to see. I'll save the most famous for later.
I'll now take you to the world's only papal basilicas with holy doors.
We went to all of them, and you can too, whether you're coming for the Jubilee or in the following years. We did it in preparation for the Jubilee, and we were surprised, not only by the beauty, but also by an unexpected encounter. There are 4 main basilicas in Rome and the world, and this is the first I'm going to show you. This is considered the main basilica in the world. This is actually Rome's cathedral. It's not St. Peter's. This was built before St. Peter's. Welcome to the Basilica of San John Lateran, or San Giovanni Laterano in Italian. The church is full of beautiful, massive statues of all 12 prophets. And close to the altar, St. Peter and St. Paul. It is believed that this tabernacle houses the heads of St. Peter and St. Paul. This is a fresco by Giotto showing the first Jubilee ever that happened in the year 1300.
It's believed that poet Dante Alighieri was among the pilgrims, as there are references to the Jubilee in the Divine Comedy, his masterpiece. Go figure, we saw the original book in Melbourne, Australia.
It was written between 1308 and 1320.
The main doors were originally in the Roman Senate. Now, this is the Jubilee door. It is totally walled. They would literally break it for the Jubilee. Constantine the Great was the first Roman emperor to convert to Christianity. This monument honors him.
And if you come just outside the church from the back, you're going to see one of Rome's oldest Christian structures.
This is Emperor Constantine's baptistry. It is believed that he himself was baptized here. This was the only site of baptisms in Rome for centuries, and everything here is full of meanings. The octagonal shape, for example, symbolizes the 7 days of the week, and the 8th being the resurrection. And it's believed that this was built on the site of a former Roman bath, right here.
From this basilica, it's actually easy to walk to the next. Now, here you go, Santa Maria Maggiore. It's about a 20-minute walk between this basilica and the previous one, but if you want to do this walk, come here first, because from here it is one single street downhill until St. John Lateran. This church, St. Mary Major, is also from the 4th century. This holy door is easy to find. You can see it right from the outside, and is even identified as a holy door. Porta Santa in Italian.
Do you see the difference in color?
Yeah.
People come.
Everybody's touching, huh? Wow. I'm gonna do it too.
Interesting how dark this church is. This is the typical image I have in my mind of a medieval church.
This is the largest of the 26 churches in Rome dedicated to the Virgin Mary.
They also have their own Sistine Chapel right here, but it is closed to visits now.
This church had way more people than anticipated, and soon realized that something was going on.
Mi scusi, signora? Sì? Cosa succede qui adesso? Passa il Papa. Vieni qua. Grazie, grazie.
Grazie, Papa.
This was one of his last public appearances.
Pope passed right here.
When you're in Rome, you might see the Pope. You never know. Totally by chance. Today, this is the church where he's buried. For the next basilica, you need the metro. Very impressive how these basilicas are huge. And how many tourists come here? This is the Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls. This is the other holy door, separating the portico from the church there inside. You can see here, Porta Santa, holy door. It's another massive basilica. And it has this name because it's located outside the original city walls of Rome. This is where St. Paul himself is buried.
Right behind the grill. It's located right underneath the main altarpiece. And this here is the chain that bound St. Paul to the Roman soldier that was guarding him when he was awaiting trial. Here, around the entire church, you can see the pictures of all the popes. Going from St. Peter, the first pope, all the way to Pope Francis. Just outside the church, you also find an archaeological area here. This is an area from late antiquity until the Middle Ages. There were monasteries here and workshops to welcome pilgrims.
During a Jubilee year, there's more to do than just visit churches.
People are experiencing Rome like never before. There are concerts, art exhibitions, youth gatherings, and even the city was transformed and adapted to welcome so many people.
The main avenue leading to St. Peter's Square is now fully integrated with another landmark, this 2nd century mausoleum turned castle and now a museum.
There's always been a major intersection here along the way, and now for the Jubilee, a new square was born.
And visits for pilgrims actually start here.
Along this same avenue, you can also find the Jubilee Tourist Center. It's the main office where you can have all your questions answered and also learn about all the events around the Jubilee. Now, finally, St. Peter's Basilica, which is actually the newest. There was a previous church here, but the way we see it today, it's a 17th century construction. If you don't come early, look at the line to visit St. Peter's Basilica. The line starts all the way over there. There's a security checkpoint, and it goes around the square.
But now you can schedule your visit online.
Take a look at our Vatican video to see how it works and see all the details inside St. Peter's Basilica.
But keep watching as I'll show you how to get in for free without lines. This is the world's largest and most famous church.
Here's the Holy Door from the outside. From the inside, the Holy Door is right next to the Pietà, Michelangelo's masterpiece. Pietà means pity. This was Michelangelo's first major job. And as a huge coincidence, it was commissioned for the Jubilee in the year 1500. He was 24 years old. The Basilica was built on the original burial site of St. Peter. He's buried right over here, below the altarpiece, and right underneath this dome, another masterpiece by Michelangelo. Here you can also see the burial site of previous popes like John Paul II and John XXIII.
In addition to the impressive church with all its symbolism, you can also visit the grottos, where many popes are buried, and the dome, for a spectacular view of Rome and the Vatican.
Wow, this is the highest point in Vatican City and also the entire Rome area. So how does it work? Can you just go to the church and walk through the Holy Door?
Yes and no. Ideally, you must register first. There's a dedicated line and you skip the tourist crowds.
If you don't, you need to join the regular line, which may be huge, especially at St. Peter's. Millions of people are coming here for this event, in addition to the millions of people that already visit Rome every year. Imagine if everyone just shows up. Imagine the length of the line. That's why you need to plan in advance. You need a card called the Pilgrim's Card. It's this card right here. You do everything online and it is free. It's super easy and your card will be immediately available directly on your phone. Right now there's plenty of availability. It's the best time to make your plans. But with the end of the Jubilee year and the Christmas season, a lot of people will probably organize last-minute trips, and these openings might be gone. If you're planning a trip to Rome in 2025, regardless of the Jubilee, this is what you need to know. It's gonna be busy. The Jubilee may potentially double the number of people coming to Rome. And for many people, this is probably a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to witness history.
Also, the new EU entry and exit system is now in place at Rome's Fiumicino Airport. Foreign tourists coming from outside the European Union and Schengen area need to capture fingerprints and do a face scan on arrival. Hence, expect delays. So make sure you download the app, learn about what's happening, and get your card as soon as possible. You also want to visit some tourist attractions, so make sure you book your tickets way in advance. If you miss the Jubilee in 2025, you won't need to wait another 25 years for your next chance. There will be an exceptional Jubilee in 2033 to mark 2,000 years since the crucifixion of Jesus.
Now, there's a caveat. Officially, those are the only 4 holy doors for this Jubilee. But other holy doors do exist in other parts of the world, and we discovered that they could be open, as a way to strengthen the relationship with Rome, especially when they're located too far from Europe. We shot most of the videos a few days before the holy doors officially opened, and didn't post before because of the various reasons that I mentioned, in a previous vlog. So we were kind of sad, for seeing all those beautiful and so important doors and not being able to cross them. Until now. We're in Indonesia. This is real time. We're here in November 2025. And of all places in the world, guess what we found right here? Did you expect a holy door here?
I expected a door, multiple doors.
Look at this. They even have the Jubilee mascots here.
Yeah.
That is so cute. There's even a group here now. I think they're here to pray. Wow. Ready?
Yeah.